were able to go visit the North Carolina Transportation Museum in Spencer, North Carolina, which is really cool. It has a track and you can ride the train, but it also had automobiles and diesel trucks and this giant shop full of locomotive engines and really cool Pullman cars. It even has the train that was used in the recent movie Leatherheads with George Clooney. I don't give a lot of thought to how easy it is to hop in a car and travel hundreds of miles in a single day. But I recall a story my grandfather told when he was a small child in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and his family moved back to East Tennessee. And they walked. They carried what they had, and I'm sure that they had a cart or a horse, but they still traveled over the mountain by foot.
I've been a rail fan myself since I was 10 years old, so I generally steer more toward the railroad side of this site, but I'm also kind of an antique car buff. The greatest terms in automotive history, the backseat driver, because the apparatus to drive this car are located where you normally would drive in the United States. It is also located directly behind that seat front. The husband's right in the back, and one of the men is driving the car from the rear. One stoplight in the center of the intersection for all four sides. And there was letters painted to the lenses as well. The very first highway patrol cars of North Carolina. In 1935, the state decided to switch from Harley-Davidson motorcycles to automobiles. And you'll notice it is a 1935 Ford. And one of the reasons they went with this is Ford's flathead V8, which had debuted a few years before this car. The speed of the Ford's flathead would allow somebody to go 80, 90 miles an hour down the road. Some of the most famous gangsters of America adopted the cars as well. But it's a World War II through 1960s era pilot trainer used by Eastern Airlines to train their pilot. Our 37-stall Robert Julian roundhouse. It is the largest remaining roundhouse still standing in the United States. Inside we have 25 to 30 pieces of restored rail equipment, several display areas discussing the history of railroading in North Carolina. I don't know, this is a good area too to filming because the way we have it set up is steam, diesel, and electric, the three types of power, locomotive power you would have seen in North Carolina. This is our Graham County Railroad 70-ton shay number 1925. It was numbered for the year that it was built. It is a 3-truck shay. The Graham County operated in North Carolina between a Southern Railway connection at Topton up to the town of Robbinsville. In 1901, United States Steel was formed. Charles Schwab was the first president. He went to the Pullman Company and had them build his own railroad car. This car, the lighting system as originally built, could either operate on electricity or gas. A lot of the wood on the inside is mahogany. A lot of brass fixtures and such are through the car.
That is awful.
Yeah. This car was restored by the United States Postal Service for the Celebrate the Century Express trains that toured the United States in 1999 and 2000. Under the crane, as the train got close to the station, the hook would be swung out from the car, pick up the mailbag. At the same time, they are kicking out the mailbag for that city. And you can see that coming up just a second, getting the mailbag ready, and there they go.
That's a deal. I'm so hungry, I could eat one of those mail sacks.
One interesting thing about this locomotive is in 1999, we took this to Sacramento for the annual rail fair at the California State Railroad Museum, during which there was a shay race. Our locomotive was paired against another similar engine from Oregon, and they literally ran it as a drag race on 3 heats, and our locomotive took all 3 heats at a maximum speed of 18 miles an hour. Largest shay ever built. And this is the engine that we fixed up for the movie shoot as well.
Now, what movie was that?
Leatherheads.
Leatherheads with George Clooney?
George Clooney. It is due out in theaters, I believe, April 4th. This is a movie that talks about the early days of the National Football League, when it was not as organized as it is now. And in the 1920s, a main form of transportation for sporting teams or in public in general were the railroads.
Is that George?
No.
Okay. Walking over the Appalachian Mountains. This is Maggie. Easy. All right.